So the first order of business is election of leader candidates. And so we have some current elders that are up for re-election. That would be John Cannon. Is John? John's right there. Myself, Paul Carnes. Paul Diaz, who I just saw a minute ago. He's out in the lobby. Phil Landrum. And I don't see Phil. Ron Lee, I know Ron Lee is in Atlanta. He's at a job change, so he'll be back next week. And then we have a candidate that's currently serving as a deacon, and that's Elliot Rivera. And Elliot has been very active in the, stand up a second there, Elliot. So is Elliot? Okay, thanks. He's been very active in the grounds ministry. He's the master of the new tractor. Spends a lot of hours on it. And he also teaches a small group on Sunday afternoons? Sometimes Wednesdays, okay. And it's a divorce care small group. So he's been quite active in actually going out doing the work of an elder, even though he's been a deacon. And he has been an elder in his former church. So we'd like to welcome him on as an elder. We look forward to having his wisdom on the board. Deacons, we have Greg Jenkins. Let's see Greg here. And Greg has also been very active in the building and the grounds ministry, and he was quite active in the building of this facility. And then we have a new candidate for deacon, and it's Eric Hose. In the back there, Eric, and I think most of you have seen him for the last year and a half or so back here on Sunday mornings. He is videos, he is communion, he just takes care of the service on second service. So he's been very active in ministry, and we're excited to have him to accept coming in as a deacon also. We have one trustee, Vince. Right there, Vince. And the trustees sign the any legal documentation. So anything that we have to vote on has to be signed by a trustee, and a trustee signs legal documentations at the authority of the chairman of the elders. So that's why we have trustees, part of our structure. And we've passed out the ballots. Everyone have a ballot? Okay. So the qualifications for voting must have been an active member at Southwest Christian Church for a minimum of 6 months. Active membership is defined as attending worship or Bible study activities at least 12 times in the preceding 6-month period, and must be at least 18 years of age. So those are the requirements for voting. So you can go ahead and cast your ballots. And just pass those out to the ends of the aisle there for the deacons to collect. And while you're doing that, I had one more thing I want to kind of talk to you about this morning, and that's the marketing of our Brodie Lane property. And we don't have anything on the ballot to vote on this, but I just wanted to update everybody and let you know kind of where our status is. And some of you that are fairly new may not even know, but we do own a piece of property at 10205 Brodie Lane. We purchased that property about 6 years ago, I believe, when we were in our transition from mineral forest. And that property served us very well as a office and a meeting facility while we were in this transition mode. The property over there has always been part of our financial plan for moving into this building. We didn't capitalize that asset to secure the loan for this location, because our plan always has been to go ahead and resell that once we got moved in over here. I think we're at that point right now where it's time to look at marketing that facility, getting it on the market, getting it ready to sell, and trying to find a buyer for that. The proceeds from that sale will be used for debt service and or ministry activities. And we anticipate this property, because it is kind of a unique property, it's served our needs very well, and it's probably going to be take a while to find a buyer for this property. But there's someone out there that this property is going to work just wonderful for, like it did us, and so it's just a matter of finding that buyer. So we're going to start the marketing phase. We have talked with a couple of real estate agents to kind of get some feedback from them on what needs to be done to marketing. We have given the residents of the sober house a 60-day notice. We're going to shut the sober house down because we'll need to go through and do some refurbishing on that to get that ready to market. We also currently have CA ministry groups meeting there in the meeting facility, and we're developing a plan to transition that over to our current facility, and we're working with Rudy and the leaders of that group on that plan. And we stand 100% behind supporting the ministry activities that are going on in that CA organization. They really do a wonderful thing. They touch a lot of souls and really bring a lot of people literally back from the grave. So that is an activity we want to continue to support. And then once we get a qualified offer on the building that we'll accept, and again, some of this just depends on what the buyer wants. If they want an as-is, it may be a lower price than we want you to fix everything up and make it look like brand new. So it's negotiable. We'll just have to see where the market's at. We also have been advised by our 2 real estate agents to get an appraisal. We haven't done that yet. We'll probably move forward with that and get a full appraisal on there before we list it, just to determine where we should list that at. Questions? Mel? Oh, the zoning, yes. Excellent question. Good. We actually looked at that. We started to rezone. It is currently zoned reserve, reserve property. And this came from when it was in the county. It was in Travis County, and then it was annexed into the city. Once it was annexed into the city, it was never zoned single family. It was zoned reserved. So it's really kind of in limbo zoning. We went to the city of Austin to get this rezoned as light office, and their staff recommendation came back and said they wouldn't recommend light office. They would only recommend single family. So at that point, we pulled our request to rezone back. We think the property is probably more marketable if we leave it reserved, and then a future buyer can come in and try and fight that battle with the city to get that zone light office if they want to. So it just looked like that was the better option to do nothing in that case. Does that answer your question?
So Paul, just to clarify, the reason that the city would not award anything above residential zoning, not that, is because we did not have a plan for doing anything to alleviate traffic on Brodie Lane. So we think that the next buyer, given some time, as we deal with traffic on Brodie, has a much better chance, starting with this NR, this reserve zone status, rather than us having it rezoned and then they have to go back and rezone again. So we withdrew and left it. We can't help traffic flow. So
yeah, and I think part of that plan would involve widening the road in front of our location and putting in a left turn lane. Would be what would be needed. So we don't want to spend that extra funds to get it ready. We'll just let the new buyer work on that. Okay. Other questions? So once we get an offer, we'll be convening another meeting to ask for your authorization to sell, because we need congregational approval to sell any real property. Okay. Any other questions? All right, I think that adjourns the meeting. Be sure and mark your ballots and pass them to the insides of the aisle. The deacons will collect those up. I'd like to thank everyone for coming.